Bonjour, this is chapter 8 of Vis-à-vis, Vive les vacances, like hooray for holidays or vacations. Here are objectives in terms of vocabulary. We're going to see the vocabulary related to vacation and all the activity we can do during vacations or holiday. The verb acheter, which means to buy, and you'll see it's very slightly irregular. We'll see au magasin de sport, in the sports sports store, you know, like all the stuff that you can buy in that stores. Des années importantes, we're going to learn how to say years. And then we'll see irregular verbs in IR, passé composé with être, so we saw passé composé with avoir, now we'll see être, and the expression il faut, which is very easy, it just means one needs, okay? Le Mont Blanc is the highest mountain in Europe. It's gorgeous, so you can see it from France and Italy. The border, like at the top up there, it's in one step France, the other step is Italy, and you can also see it from Switzerland, so you see it's in this area. And this is called La Cascade de la Vis. That's next to where I'm from in southern France, where we like going during play in waterfalls a lot. And because where I'm from, the beach is not that pretty, so the tourists go to the beach and the locals go to the waterfalls. Voilà. Ok, on y va. En vacances, I'm following the book. En vacances, le Nord, le Massif central, la Côte d'Azur, les Alpes, les Pyrénées. Alors, le Nord just means the north. Le Massif central is these mountains in central France. They're former volcanoes, so they're pretty small mountains. Les Alpes are very, very spiky. They're very high mountains. So le Mont Blanc is around here, and this is the highest mountain in Europe. It's 4,807 meters, 4,807 mètres. La Côte d'Azur, so that's all that coast here, so from the Italian border to this arrow, which we'll try to guess what it is later, and it's called, in English you call it the Riviera, so in French we call it la Côte d'Azur. Les Pyrénées, so the Pyrenees, which form the border between France and Spain. And that's about it. Can you guess what are those three stars? These three stars. Of course, this is Paris. And so that's the capital and biggest city of France. This is Marseille, which is the second biggest city in France. And this is Lyon, the third biggest city in France. And that's about it. And I'm from here, just so you know, this area. So not too far from Marseille, like about an hour and a half from Marseille. Okay, let's read about the activities. Faire du camping en forêt, faire du bateau sur les fleuves, faire du vélo sur les routes de campagne, faire du ski en montagne, faire de la planche à voile à la mer, faire de l'alpinisme en montagne et bronzer à la plage. Let's detail everything. Les endroits, which means places. La campagne, la forêt, la montagne, la plage, la mer, un lac, un fleuve. Les activités, so these are the activities that are going to go with faire. Faire du camping, faire du vélo, faire du bateau, faire de la randonnée, faire de la planche à voile, faire du cheval, faire de l'équitation, faire de la plongée libre, faire de la plongée sous-marine, faire du ski nautique, faire du ski alpin, faire du ski de fond. Alors, the difference between faire du cheval et faire de l'équitation is just that faire de l'équitation is a little more formal, whereas faire du cheval is more like the common way of saying it. Donc, ski alpin is like downhill, and this faire du ski de fond is cross country. Okay? Nager, bronzer, aller à la pêche, patiner, prendre des vacances. Voilà. That's it for our activities. Let's move to the verb acheter. Acheter, which means to buy, is barely irregular. Let's repeat it. Acheter, j'achète, tu achètes, il achète, nous achetons, vous achetez, ils achètent. What's irregular about it? Bon, you see acheter here, right? Acheter, and that's achète. So you see, the boot has the accent change. Apart from that, look at our endings. They completely ER verb regular. E, ES, E, ONS, easy, ENT. So everything looks good except for that accent change. Does it ring a bell? Do you remember in French 1 when we saw the verb préférer and all the ones that worked with it? So how did préférer go? Do you remember? Préférer had one accent here, and this accent would go the other way on the boot. This is E, this is E. I'll repeat. E, E. And this is E, E. Okay? So it goes the same way as préférer, which means the boot is irregular with an accent. Okay? And the verbs that were doing like préférer were répéter, espérer, célébrer, considérer. And each time it was this accent that was going the other way. C'est bon? Alright, acheter is pretty easy. Let's do material from the sports store. Au magasin de sport, des skis, un anorak, un pantalon de ski, des chaussures de ski, des lunettes de ski, un casque, des gants, un parapluie, une tente, un sac de couchage, des chaussures de montagne, des lunettes de soleil, un maillot de bain, une crème solaire, un écran solaire, une serviette de plage, un sac à dos, une valise. Alors, let me see. Maillot de bain works for men too, okay? Crème solaire is like a generic term, like a sun cream. You're not sure what it really does, whereas this is a sunscreen, like, you know, like prevents burning. Voilà. This is to help you quiz yourself, okay? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Ce sont des skis. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un maillot de bain. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est une tente. Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est un parapluie. I'll let you quiz yourself. Okay, let's go work on the dates. So we reviewed numbers, you know, and how they go. You can now count up to 1,000 and all that. And so we're going to how do you say that? We're going to review dates after dates and between 1100 and 1999. We're going to have two ways of saying the dates, okay? So we can say like 17, let's say 1789, so the French Revolution. We could say 1789 or 1789, like we divide here, 1700 or 1789. Only in between that. Before that and after that, there's only one way of saying it. Let's go. I'll say the first way like that, the second way like that. 1598 or 1598. Henri IV impose l'édit de Nantes. B. 1715 or 1715. Mort de Louis XIV. Louis XIV, the French king, okay, the one that built Versailles. C. 1778 ou 1778. La France déclare la guerre à l'Angleterre. That's all we do. Always wage war with England. Okay? D. 1793, 1793. Exécution de Louis XVI, roi de France. That's when we behead the French king, okay? And we behead his wife too, Marie-Antoinette. E. 1794 ou 1794. Abolition de l'esclavage dans les colonies. We abolished slavery in 1794 in the colonies. There was no slave in France itself, just the colonies. Let's keep looking. F. 1802 ou 1802. Rétablissement de l'esclavage dans les colonies. Of course, we re-established slavery. It didn't last long, huh? G. 1848, proclamation de la République. 1848. So 1848, 1848. You see, between the time that we beheaded our king and the time we had a republic, it took a long time. Hein? On y va. Let's skip ahead in history. 1981 or 1981, abolition of death penalty, okay? And until 1981, the way we would execute people in France was the guillotine, okay? Like, we would behead people. The last people were executed in the 70s, okay? On y va. 1994, 1994, inauguration du tunnel sous la Manche. It's the inauguration of the tunnel that goes between in the channel, which is that you can take the train from Paris to London and woof, you go under the water. J, 2002, so you see we only have one way of saying it. Entrée en vigueur de la monnaie unique euro dans toute l'Europe, the beginning of the euro. Okay? There's no real preference. You can say either way, and there's no way I can really say which one would be better. If there's two ways of saying it, there's no real difference, and you can pick the way you want to say it. Okay? Alright. On continue après les dates. Let's see some irregular verbs in IR. Irregular verbs in IR. We're going to see two different patterns today. We're going to see the patterns of dormir and the patterns of venir. Dormir, on le répète, je dors, tu dors, il dort, nous dormons, vous dormez, il dorme. What's irregular about it is the singular, okay? The fourth letter, 1, 2, 3, 4, disappears. You see that M is not there. And so it's going to be the same for partir, sentir, sortir, servir. And same thing, the fourth letter is going to disappear. Let's look at them in detail. So the fourth letter disappears in the singular. On y va. Partir, the T is going to disappear. Sortir, the T. Servir, the V. Sentir, the T. I'll read them all. Je pars, tu pars, il part, nous partons, vous partez, ils partent. Je sors, tu sors, il sort, nous sortons, vous sortez, ils sortent. Je sers, tu sers, il sert, nous servons, vous servez, ils servent. Je sens, tu sens, il sent, nous sentons, vous sentez, ils sentent. Voilà. So now the problem, just a little detail, but let's go over it anyway. We have several ways to say to leave. We have partir, sortir, and quitter. Donc partir is a question of, you can follow it with time. And if you want to talk about place with it, you're going to have to use a preposition. Partir de Paris, so leaving from Paris, ou partir pour Paris, leaving to go to Paris. Okay? Sortir means to get out, like to open a door and get out, like to get out of the house, or to go out with someone in the sense of dating, or to go out in the sense of partying, going to club, okay? And then quitter is followed directly by a noun, to means to leave someone, and if you're leaving a place, no preposition. Look, here you have preposition, no preposition, okay? Quitter is a regular ER verb. Sortir and partir are two verbs that we just saw, and so that means they would lose their fourth letter in the singular. C'est bon? These are details, okay? We're not going to focus too much into it. Let's keep working. Let's see another pattern of irregular IR verb. On y va. Venir, je viens, tu viens, il vient, nous venons, vous venez, ils viennent. What's irregular about it? Well, quite a lot. Nous and vous are regular. So that means the whole boot is irregular. Okay? Venir means to come. You see that I that pops out of nowhere? So venir means to come. Venir de means to come from. For example, elle vient de Paris. But venir de plus a verb means to have just. For example, elle vient de dormir. She has just slept. Okay? Verbs that are conjugated like venir. We have devenir, revenir, obtenir. So devenir, to become, it's just you add de instead of in front of venir, revenir, and then obtenir. C'est bon? Let's detail them. I'm not going to read those, devenir and revenir, because they're just like venir. I'll read obtenir. On y va. J'obtiens, tu obtiens, il obtient, nous obtenons, vous obtenez, ils obtiennent. Voilà. All right, we're done with our irregular verbs in IR and we're going to start something complicated. Let's concentrate. All right, we're going to talk about the passé composé. So what we saw the other day is that we use the passé composé to narrate past events, and that is the most common tense of the past. We saw that there were two words, the auxiliary avoir and the past participle. Some of them are regular, and we follow that rule, that's what we saw, and some of them are irregular, and we saw 10 verbs the other day that were irregular in chapter 7. Now we're in chapter 8, we're big, and so we're going to see how we actually lied to you. It's just like for Santa Claus, and there are verbs that use avoir and verbs that use être as an auxiliary. Let's go and take examples. All verbs are going to use avoir, so j'ai, tu as, il a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, except these verbs. Alors, we have two ways of learning these verbs. Either you learn that list by heart, Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp, you see, it's an acronym to help you, or you learn that cartoon by heart. It is the same thing. Let's detail it, and I'll come back on this slide later. So, the verbs conjugate with être are verbs of movement or change of state. Movement and change of state. Let's go. Movement, arriver, entrer, rentrer, retourner, revenir, venir. Or aller, sortir, partir. So everything that enters, everything that exits. Descendre, monter. So to go down, to go up. To stay and to pass. Rester, passer, tomber. So you see all of that are some types of movement. And then what they call change of state, they're pretty abrupt change of state because they're to be born and to die. Naître et mourir. All of those verbs use être at the passé composé. All of the other verbs use avoir. There are actually some more verbs, but you will study them. You'll study them in French 3. Okay? So for our level, these are those. You can also just learn the Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp list. You know, it's the same list as that. It's just to help you. There's some kids rapping at Dr. and Mrs. Vandertramp if you want to look online. So anyway, we said we use avoir unless it's on that list, okay? On that cartoon or list is the same thing. And then for the past participle, these are all the irregular verbs we're going to see this semester. If it's not in here, then it's regular and you use that rule. For ER, you remove the ER and you put A. You remove the IR and you put I. You remove the RE and you put U. So let's say we want to say he ate, like he ate a cookie. To eat is not in that list, right? So we're going to use il a. And then, second word, we go to the second part. Is manger in that list? Manger is not in that list. That means it's regular. So we're going to use that rule. Let's look at, we want to say he went out. He went out with the verb sortir. We go, is sortir in this list? Yes, it's here. Then we use être, il est. And then is sortir in this list? No. So for the second word, it's going to be regular. It's going to be sorti. Look at how we make questions. You remember how we invert the auxiliary with the subject? As-tu dormi? Like, did you sleep? Et il n'a pas bu. The ne pas goes on each side of the auxiliary. That's just a reminder. C'est bon? Alright, let's keep working on our passé composé and then you'll see word practice. That we looked at. Let's look at the agreement. So the problem is that with avoir there was no agreement, so it was easy. Okay? With être, there is an agreement between the subject and the past participle. If the subject is plural, it takes an S. If it's feminine, the past participle takes an E. If it's feminine plural, it takes an E and an S. We've already talked about the word order, right? The ne pas goes on each side of the auxiliary, and then also the auxiliary is used first for questions. And just a keyword, il y a means ago. Il y a 2 ans, 2 years ago. C'est bon? Okay, let's practice with translating these sentences. They went to the beach, Peter did his homework, Lisa fell, he did not want to study, we answered their questions, you went back to Paris, I didn't go out. Just take for granted that we're going to use the passé composé for each of them, okay? We're just practicing out of context. It would be a good moment to pause and try to do the exercise before I give you the answers. All right, if you're done pausing, here are the answers. Alors, they went to the beach. Ils sont allés à la plage. Aller goes with être. Aller à la plage. Peter did his homework. Peter a fait ses devoirs. Faire is an irregular past participle. Lisa est tombée. Lisa fell, Lisa est tombée with an extra E because it goes with être. He did not want to study. Il n'a pas voulu étudier. Okay? We answered their questions. Nous avons répondu à leurs questions. Easy. Regular, regular. You went back to Paris. Tu es retourné à Paris. Et I didn't go out last night. Je ne suis pas sorti. I added an E because I'm a woman. If you're talking about yourself and you're a man, don't add that E, okay? C'est bon? Cool. I hope you understand the passé composé. If you don't understand, let me know because you really need to understand it. All right, one very easy last thing after such a hard chapter. Il faut. Il faut means one needs. And just like in English, we can use it with a noun or with a verb. Pour fêter un anniversaire, il faut un gâteau. To celebrate a birthday, one needs a cake. Or we can use a verb. Pour bien manger, il faut cuisiner. In order to eat well, one needs to cook at home. C'est bon? I hope it's all good. Chapter 8 is over and let me know if you have any question.